You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast,
delivering a player experience news.
Let's go! What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 305. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter. And yes, I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and hardcore casual himself, Roshan Warner at Ro. Welcome back. We're glad to see you back.
Hello, I'm glad to be back. Like we were saying in the pre-show, I feel like it's been over a month or so since I've been on the show. So very excited to talk to you guys about some video games. We've got a lot to catch up on because not only was I away, all of us were away for 2 weeks or so got a lot to catch up on. Very good.
This is the ultimate catch-up week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tried to condense it down. I was like, all right, we don't need this. I cut so much stuff out of my Twitter DMs because that's how I keep track of the news. I'm like, nope, because I'm like, we'll have way too much.
Right.
And we are joined by my resident Embark Glazer and my fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins.
Reporting for duty, sir. Ready to glaze.
Glaze on, soldier. And thank you to everyone joining us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week is our 3 weeks of video game news. Of course, 2 weeks ago was the last time we were on, so 3 weeks. I guess that's included, right? Yeah, sure. Whatever. So let's go ahead and dive into that topic of the show here for all of our news. We're just going to go through these, and obviously we'll just treat this like quick bites, but in a longer form sense. If anyone has anything to add, feel free. First up, we have a Call of Duty statement, community update from August 2025. Possibly a fallout as a result of the success of the Battlefield 6 beta. A lot of people have been very excited about the visual design going more so back to a more realistic tone. So Call of Duty put out this post and said, first off, thank you. Call of Duty has always been fueled by the community. Every match, every clip, every bit of feedback, you've shaped this franchise right alongside us. We know there's been a lot of conversation recently about the identity of Call of Duty. Some of you said we've drifted from what made Call of Duty unique in the first place: immersive, intense, visceral, and in many ways grounded. That feedback hits home, and we take it seriously. Carry forward update operator skins and weapons from Black Ops 6 will no longer carry forward to Black Ops 7, but they will still work in Warzone. XP tokens and gobblegums will continue carry over. They will be fighting cheaters with Ricochet, which is adding new detection tools, Secure Boot, and TPM 2.0 on PC to stop cheaters earlier, similar to what Battlefield and other multiplayer games are doing nowadays. More ahead from Treyarch. Additional info on multiplayer, refined movement, zombies innovations, cross-mode progression, and much more gameplay. So obviously, I think at the surface level, I think this is just a very, very small step forward for them to actually acknowledge that there is a bit of conversation surrounding people's issues with the visual identity of the game and what Call of Duty actually is. So I think there is some props to that. Now, obviously, since this post has been put out, I've seen some skins that I was like, all right, which maybe, to give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe they were already created before this was a thing. But it is at least refreshing to see them acknowledge that it's a topic of concern.
Yeah, I think that's all the credit I'm willing to give them right now. Is just I'm only giving them credit for acknowledging it, because I have to agree with something Christian said privately, which is that I imagine a lot of the partnerships and collaborations that Call of Duty has set up are done like months and months in advance.
For sure.
So I'm more proud of Battlefield in sort of taking the stance that they are than Call of Duty, because I have a feeling that this is probably only going to be the launch window, and then we're going to see some, I don't know what action movies are scheduled to release for the rest of the year, but I'm sure we'll see like a 28 years later collab or John Wick collab or whatever. I'm sure that those are coming because they're probably already set in stone legally. But I agree with you. It's nice to see devs at least acknowledging that it is an issue, because I feel like it's been a piece of feedback that's like gotten louder recently. But I mean, this is feedback that Call of Duty fans have been giving for at least 2 or 3 games now of like what's going on with these skins, what's going on. So I don't have much hope that Call of Duty will rein it in. I think that we'll see like a pause, a buffer. But yeah, I mean, and there's another part of this that I wanted to throw in there too. I mean, another thing that Call of Duty seems to have done in response to Battlefield is suddenly they've learned how to like compress their file sizes. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah.
The size of Call of Duty HQ went from like 140 gigs down to 25 gigs, which seems awfully coincidental as well with the success of Battlefield and people realizing that the full game is only 86 gigs, which is like half the size of the smallest recent Call of Duty game. So yeah, lots. I mean, if anything, my takeaway from this is competition is good. This is just another reminder to people that competition is good. We need it.
Yeah. And why the hell Call of Duty HQ is 120 gigs? Who the hell knows?
All those shaders to compile, man. They gotta put the shaders somewhere.
Yeah. Collector Monica says we missed you, Ro. I wonder who that is, Ro.
Oh,
That's his girlfriend.
it is.
Christian, I love when he starts clicking on the dock. All right. The next item we have here, which ties in to Call of Duty once again. Yes. Paramount has announced that a Call of Duty movie is in the works. They are in talks to buy the rights to develop it. And I also wanted to add in here as well, because there was another report as well that Steven Spielberg wanted to direct a Call of Duty movie. His team pitched his vision for the film to Activision. Activision got spooked by Spielberg wanting full control over the film, so they sold the rights to Paramount instead. Which I think we had a little discussion in Twitter DMs about this. I think for me, it comes down to how involved Spielberg was going to be, because it's one thing if his company was going to have full control versus him actually directing the movie and having full control, because I would maybe agree with Activision and say, yeah, like some of his stuff hasn't gone that well in the past. Like he was literally the poster child for the Halo TV series when it was announced in 2013-ish. He was the one that came out and announced it for his production company, Amblin Entertainment. And they were the ones who actually produced the movie or the TV series for Halo. But it seems like he didn't really have an involvement or a heavy involvement in it, despite him, being the poster child for it. So I think that's what it comes down to for me personally.
I mean, was he still the poster child by the time it was being produced, though? Or did that?
That's the problem.
So many times, right?
That's the problem. He was put forth as the poster child when it was announced. He was the one announcing it on stage with a video reel, right. And then basically it's just his company produced the show. Amblin Entertainment is the one that produced it, but he didn't actually, in my opinion, he didn't really have an involvement. I think he served as executive producer.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I mostly agree with what you're just saying, right? It depends on the context of those conversations. If it was just, although the fact that people reporting that Spielberg wanted Final Cut tells me that it was probably him intimately involved. Because if he was like, hey, my production company wants to make this, I'm going to give it to one of these up and coming directors. By the way, they want Final Cut. Like that's kind of a ridiculous thing to claim. So if it was Spielberg and he was asking for Final Cut. I don't know how anyone at Activision would be like, no, we've got a
Yeah.
we've got a better idea. Actually, that's ridiculous to me. So yeah, if it was specifically Spielberg at the helm and he wanted to make this movie himself, if he wanted to be in the director's seat, then that's probably one of the biggest fumbles that Activision has ever done, because that's like an easy 400-500 million dollar box office run there, like minimum, that you could have just gotten, which is like, that's not nothing. So, not to mention all the free advertising for the franchise. So that would have been cool. Maybe they were worried about Spielberg putting like an anti-war twist in the movie, and then therefore they can't make a million sequels without it feeling disingenuous. I don't know.
How so this is as not a Call of Duty hater, but as someone who doesn't play the games very much. How do you make a Call of Duty movie? Like, is it just name alone that sells it, or do you use characters? What's like specifically Call of Duty that makes it not just a war movie called Call of Duty?
Yeah, I feel like there's something there that could be explored with the OG cast. Like, they kind of have become there. I think there are household names is going too far, but there are certainly names that within first-person shooter fans that people think of. You think of Ghost, you think of Captain Price, you think of all these characters. I think there's something there. If they wanted to do a rendition of like the original trilogy, exactly, the Modern Warfare trilogy, I think there's totally something there. Maybe to give the benefit to Activision, maybe Spielberg just wanted to do a generic World War II movie and then just call it Call of Duty. And maybe they're like, we if we're gonna do this, we want to cash in on like the characters. That could be it too. But I could totally see there being a semi-successful, in the vein of Transformers, just a fun action franchise following the first 3 Modern Warfare movies. I think that's totally possible. You could do that.
Yeah, and see, like, to your point, like, what will be the purpose of calling the movie Call of Duty if it's not going to include characters from the franchise? Yeah, and
right.
Obviously, the early iterations of Call of Duty didn't really have any like mainstay characters that like stand out to you, besides maybe Viktor Reznov. That stands out to me from World at War. But like, obviously, Modern Warfare is the main series where we remember Captain Price and Captain McMillan and Soap and
Ghost and yeah.
So I don't know. Very interesting to think about. Glenn says this is a pretty early start for you guys. Is this the new normal after the break? You know what, Glenn? Fucking the slander.
He's just smiling when he's typing that too. He loves it.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible, Glenn. All right. Our next story here, Judas has a little update we got from Ken Levine and company at Ghost Story Games. So we're going to talk about here a feature update, Villainy. We've just finished a major milestone, Villainy. Villainy is a central feature of Judas. When you play BioShock or BioShock Infinite, the villain is always going to be the villain. Fontaine, Comstock, there's always going to be the bad guys. In Judas, your actions will attract members of the big 3 to you as friends, but ignore one of them enough and they become the villain. From there, they will get access to a new suite of powers to subvert your actions and goals. The clips below, which you can see on their website, demonstrate just a little bit of the feature, which is just one example of how the big 3 can retaliate. The more dangerous and character-specific stuff will be kept a secret for now. Eventually, you'll have to make decisions about who you're going to focus your energy on and who you'll end up alienating. They also talked about a focus on character. I'm not going to read all of it, but they have a very interesting focus on character as well that they put a little blurb about. They also revealed their key art, as well as they put, when is Judas coming out? And they said, while we wish we could give you an exact date today, we're not quite ready to finalize that. As you know, release dates have a way of slipping by, and we'd like to avoid having to change the date after we announce it. But we know Judas is not really a game until the players get their hands on it, and that's a day everyone on the team is working toward. So essentially, coming probably next year. Definitely not this year, I get the vibe probably next year, which is a little disappointing. I was really hoping to play this year, but the villainy stuff I think sounds interesting. If maybe they do something interesting with it, I could also see it like going down the path of like, is this just gonna feel like super generic and like rigged? I guess time will tell. We'll have to see kind of more from the game before we can dive into that, I guess.
I think for their 2026 release date too, they're gonna have to pick their timing
That's true.
very carefully.
Yeah,
Very carefully.
that's true. GTA 6, everybody get out of the way.
There's a lot. I mean, GTA 6 is happening later in the year, maybe the midpoint you could call it, but you've got Resident Evil 9 early in the year. Like there's only a few spots if you want to get this. What is a new IP launch out there, right? Like you got to really, I don't know. We'll see how it works out.
For sure. I forgot to link this video for the next one. I just linked it, just in case you guys want to see it as well. 007 First Light got a PlayStation State of Play gameplay deep dive. So we got about 30 minutes of a look at 007 First Light. First, I'll ask if either of you had a chance to check it out. If not, that's fine. I did check it out.
I did watch it. Yeah.
Me too.
Okay.
I also watched it.
So then, what were your guys' impressions off of what we saw? Like overall impressions.
I have to stay consistent with what I said on the podcast months ago, which is that we were talking about this when IO was announced. Actually, this is more than months ago. This is probably well over a year ago. When IO was announced to be making a James Bond game, I said two things in the podcast. I said they need to just make a Hitman game where he holds his weapons with two hands and he has hair. And guess what? I watched the gameplay footage and they checked both of those boxes and I'm in. I'm all in. This is the framework is already laid with the Hitman games. I think this looks perfectly good. It looks very good. I'm excited.
I liked what I saw in like the action scenes. I liked a lot. I'm not super into the stealth games that much when that's the main focus. I like it to be like an optional thing, and I guess it is here as well. Like I like the options that it gave you to like make excuses when you like get caught. Like I thought that was cool when he was like climbing up into the party. And I liked the action scenes. I liked the set pieces that they had. I found it was very open, which is good. Like I liked how many. Yeah, like I said, I liked how many options there were, which I guess is a strength of the Hitman games, where you could like approach the situations in different ways. It's just that I'm not a huge stealth guy, I guess. So I was like, oh, okay, this looks fun. I was impressed by like the explosions and again everything that was going on. But to me, it was just like it looked like Hitman, really pretty to me. But
Right.
Yeah, again, I'm not a huge Hitman stealth guy anyway, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
Before I get into my thoughts, Pat Nat put in the chat, honestly, I thought it was early too. You know what? You and Glenn can just y'all are teaming up on us here. Yeah, so this is very interesting because this is not the opinion I thought I was going to have for this game after I saw it, but I am concerned about this game after seeing this walkthrough.
Wow.
I am concerned about this game. I think a lot of the action sequences and set pieces felt very stiff to me and didn't feel exciting and felt like too on rails. It's the same issue I have with Mafia, the old country, in that it feels like what I'm looking at is something on rails for the action sequences specifically, something on rails that there's a designated outcome that's going to happen and like there's no way you're influencing that. Like at that point it doesn't feel like I'm playing the game, it feels like the game's playing me, if that makes sense. And like that's what concerns me about the action aspect of it. And the issue that I had with the gameplay I think why it works with Hitman for me is because Hitman is kind of unapologetically like not that serious about itself, and like you can do these wacky things and like, you know, flip this switch and this happens and then people react to it and then you go do this other thing. And like in the world of 007, for me, it doesn't feel like it makes sense in the world of what it is. Like him distracting the guards and then going to pick up a lighter and then lighting a bush and then the guards walking over to the bush, like that doesn't feel like 007 to me. And I think that's my big concern right now, or those are my big concerns right now with the game. I think I think it also had some performance issues, as Christian mentioned in the chat. I think it needs more time to polish. I agree with that as well. I think that it had some performance issues. But yeah, I'm worried about this game, and I was very excited about this game coming into it.
I just want two quick rebuttals. Two rebuttals, and then one thing I want to add to it. I forgot to mention the driving sections. I don't agree with you on the action sections, and I'll get to that in a second. But the driving sections, I really don't see the maps in this game being that big enough, and I was definitely getting the vibe of like, it's James Bond's, we got to have cars in here, so let's just do what I'm sure is going to be a glorified intro or exfil, which is just an on rails car section. I thought that was the worst part of the showing, was all the driving sections. Because I'm like, I know what this engine's like. I know what IO is like in terms of their map design. There's no shot you're going to be able to just get into a car and drive 5 minutes this way and 5 minutes that way. That's just not how it's going to work. So that part I agree with you. The action stuff is interesting because like, I feel like this is where the Hitman stuff maybe is kind of a hindrance to them as well, where I think people are expecting something as open as Hitman, where they've kind of said in interviews like, this is a more linear game. Like, this does have a start and finish and certain story beats that we want to hit. And I feel like that should be fine, right? Because I mean, there's a lot of linear games out there that we like, you know, Uncharted and The Last of Us and stuff like that. So if it's only the end of the missions that really comes into a point where it's linear, but I have the freedom to sort of explore the most of that mission whichever way I want, that's not a deal breaker to me. That's fine. I totally like that. And then the other thing I'll mention is the engine and the performance issues that people are talking about is I'm a little bit worried. I think that if I remember correctly, Hitman had issues as well. Most of the Hitman games did not launch with great performance on PC, but they're always able to kind of hammer that out. So was it running how I wanted it to run? Like, absolutely not. Do I think it's going to be a deal breaker though? For me personally, no. Oh, and then the other thing I was going to say with in terms of Bond being goofy, I feel like there's a little bit of recency bias with the Daniel Craig movies, which are super tonally serious. If you go back far enough, the farther you go back with Bond, the more goofy it is, right? Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Bond as a character in its entirety has not always been super serious. The last, 6 movies, 20 years have been very serious, and so we all kind of think of Bond in that way. But if you go back to, the 80s, the types of villains they had, and the costumes and the characters and the situations Bond would find himself in, it definitely does have a little bit of that, so I'm giving it a bit of leeway in terms of the gameplay being a little bit goofy. But that's just me. I was forced to watch the old movies with my grandparents, so
that's totally fair. Pierce Brosnan is my favorite.
Right.
Also, one more thing I remembered while you were talking, I was clicking around the video to see if there was something else that jogged my memory. Every time he fucking would go into an area and there was red barrels and he fucking shot the red barrel every fucking time, I'm like, okay,
right,
this is getting a little excessive at this point.
Yeah.
I think there was a moment near the end where he was panning his camera around like, brother, I see the red barrel there. I know you're going to fucking shoot it. You don't have to act like you're not gonna shoot it, and then he did. I'm watching it back now too, and they do have those things it looks like in a scientist lab, and there's just canisters all over the place in the cubicles. It's like, all right, I think we're being a little bit silly here for sure. Yeah. Glenn says he's hyped for it. I wish there was more stealth games. And then Christian said, "I'm 100% on Dan." Well, I think he meant I'm 100% with Dan, not on Dan. But
I don't know. I don't know. It's Christian.
With how stiff those action sequences looked, we'll see how it shakes out in the context of the full moment to moment. Absolutely, yeah. That's James Bond.
That's James Bond.
All right. The next story here: PlayStation 6 has some more handheld rumors that are heating up. Moore's Law is Dead said in a recent video that this so far unannounced PS6 handheld will be dockable and backwards compatible with PS4 and PS5 games. The YouTube channel even has information on alleged specs for the device, which apparently include a 16 computational unit RDNA 5 GPU clocked at 1.2 gigahertz in handheld mode and 1.65 gigahertz in docked mode. According to Moore's Law is Dead, the PS6 handheld will cost significantly less than the upcoming Xbox Ally X and age way better and will be raw performance stronger. Interesting. And the ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X don't even have prices yet, and they're out in a month, which is crazy. So what will the handheld cost? Moore's Law is Dead estimates $299 to $399 for the PS6S, $399 to $499 for the PS6 handheld, and $549 to $699 for the base PS6. Okay. Now we're getting into too many SKUs. Why do we have 3 SKUs? Why not just have the handheld and the higher performing model? I don't quite understand the purpose of the third model, but this is all obviously this could be subject to change also, so maybe it doesn't even actually happen. But sounds exciting for the handheld's return for Sony. Sony hasn't made a handheld in a long time.
Right. Especially the news that it's dockable. That's something for me that immediately it increases the chance of me considering getting a handheld. Is do I have the option to hook this up to the main TV and sit back on the couch if I want to? Yeah, I'm with you on the 3 SKUs thing because at first glance I would assume that the handheld that's dockable would take the place of
Exactly.
the lower SKU console, right? Especially if there's going to be a power difference between the PlayStation 6S and the PlayStation 6. At that point, why would you just not make the handheld the S if you're going to call it that?
Right.
Yeah, very very weird. I'm my brain immediately goes to is this just a margins thing where it's okay, the main PlayStation 6, even though it's going to be expensive, is going to be probably there's probably going to be the least amount of margin. Maybe they're selling that one at a loss, and then they're selling a really underpowered base model to try and make some of that money back. I don't know.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. I would love a PlayStation handheld. That would be so cool.
You and me both.
Yes.
We love our handhelds. Handhelds unite.
That way.
All right. The next story here, gents. Forza Horizon 6 will seemingly be announced at Tokyo Game Show. This came from Windows Central that has seen documentation suggesting Forza Horizon 6 will be announced at this year's Tokyo Game Show. And then we also got an announcement that Xbox is back for Tokyo Game Show. So September 25th, they have a event at, you guessed it, 6 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. Oh my gosh, that's early. But no, I'd be super excited about this. And the rumor is that Forza Horizon 6 will take place in Japan as well, which would be a very cool announcement to actually announce it in Japan.
Cannot wait. Let me see some Subarus drifting the Japanese countryside, please.
Oh yeah. Kirik, hello. It's been a minute. We missed a couple weeks, but glad to see you back in the chat. Our next story here, Perfect Dark was almost revived by Take-Two, but the deal fell through. The Initiative, the studio behind Perfect Dark, was shuttered earlier this year, with its project apparently canceled. However, Perfect Dark apparently remained in development at Crystal Dynamics until just last week. Of course, this was a week ago, so 2 weeks ago. While leadership from both studios struggled to find new funding from a surprising source, Take-Two. In a report from Bloomberg, which IGN corroborates from their own sources, this is from IGN, it is revealed that Perfect Dark was not fully abandoned when the Initiative shuttered earlier this year. Leadership from both Crystal and the Initiative spent the following 2 months looking for a new publisher and funding source. Such a weird thing to say when the Initiative is owned by Microsoft. Whatever. While multiple parties expressed interest, the most likely candidate turned out to be Take-Two Interactive. However, the two groups couldn't come to an agreement, at least in part due to disagreements over long-term ownership of the property. Microsoft, what the fuck were you going to do with this property that you haven't fucking done anything with the last 20 years? What are you talking about? Just fucking let them have it. Fuck.
But what if the game's successful? What if somebody else made a successful game? We want our piece of the pie, Dan.
I
even
know.
though we couldn't do it ourselves.
Corporate greed. Fucking, like, seriously, like, they haven't made a Perfect Dark game in 20 years since the Xbox 360 launched. Like, what the fuck?
And now they're not going to do it. No one's going to get it.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
if we can't have it, no one can. Like,
Oh, man.
all right.
An interesting question I want to pose to you, Dan. What team do you think Take-Two would have put on this?
Well, it sounds like they would have still had Crystal Dynamics continuing to work on it.
Okay, they
Yeah.
would have just funded it. They would have backed
Right.
it, and
Yeah.
okay, I see.
Yeah. So
They should have asked Embracer. They'll do anything.
That's true.
they should have made a
They've got all the money and all the studios you could ever want.
they should have made a Lord of the Rings Perfect Dark game.
They should have done anything with the brand that was once really, really popular and cool and cutting edge, and then has been shelved for 2 decades now.
I am so sad about that. They were actually still working on it, and there was hope, and I didn't know there was hope, but now there's no hope again, and now it's sad again. All right. Moving on. Sophie Turner has been announced to be the star as Lara Croft in the live-action Tomb Raider series. What are our thoughts on her playing Lara Croft? Ready? Let's do it at the same time?
Right, 3. I have a feeling. So
no.
during the Game of Thrones days, when that show was airing, Sophie Turner's character was kind of like I felt, at least in the discourse during the show, even in the good years, it felt like her character was kind of like what's the character from Breaking Bad? Anna Gunn's character, Walter White's wife. I feel like she was a character like that where people thought that Sophie Turner was doing an awful job. Her character was flat, bland, blah, blah, blah. And then there are people like me where I'm like, I feel like she's playing this character exactly how this person in the situation needs to be played. I thought Sophie Turner was a standout for Game of Thrones for me. So I personally am very, very excited. But she is a very divisive actress. So I'm not totally surprised that you're not quite digging it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's fair. What you're saying is fair. She wasn't my favorite actress in Game of Thrones, but I also didn't hate her. I think she just sat in a plane of Game of Thrones existence to me, where she was just there, and like that's what concerns me about someone like Lara Croft, she's basically the entire show. And like, can she actually demand the full attention of the audience? And yeah, I mean, totally. I would like to see her in the role before I criticize. I say that all the time because like so many examples of people who criticize actors or actresses that are in a certain role and then they end up killing it. You know, Heath Ledger, for example, as the Joker. And yeah, so totally, I'm down to see how she's portraying the character for sure. I'm not going to write her off yet.
Did you guys see the last one, the 2018 one with Alicia?
I did
Vikander?
not. I did not.
No, no,
Did you?
I did see it. Yeah,
What were
it
your
was
thoughts on?
it was okay. It was
Okay.
it was okay. It was okay.
Right.
Like I liked her in it, but it was just okay. Like the action was all right, the story was all right. So I'm excited to see a new take on it because I really love the Square Enix Crystal Dynamics games. So if they're going with that route versus the original one, or if they're going maybe the Angelina Jolie version a little bit more this time, I don't know what kind of like with the James Bond thing as well. Like I don't know which version they're going to go with, the more serious, grounded one, or the little bit more cartoony version. So I'm excited to see how they go with it.
Is she going to be fighting raptors in a cave?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or is
Or an
it going to
army.
be like a political espionage thriller?
Yeah.
Right. I will say, but this is also kind of like, is still kind of a curveball because I haven't seen her do anything that's tonally like this, but Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who did Fleabag, is the showrunner for this as well. Now that's a very different vibe, but
Yeah.
Fleabag was one of the best shows I had seen when I watched it. It was one of the best shows I had seen in a long time. So she's got the chops, at least when it comes to making a competent sort of dramedy. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be good at making an action series. But so far, the talent for me is lining up really well.
And the Shogun director is directing the series, so that's not bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Jonathan Van Telecken. I also about died laughing because the first comment on here said, "Surprised we aren't getting this," and it's a picture of Pedro Pascal. Oh God, Jesus!
Oh.
God bless that man. He gets a lot of hate. Like it's not his fault that he's popular, you know?
That's true. But I mean, hey, if you hear the song, on the radio enough, sometimes you start to hate the song.
That's fair. Christian said they're using popsicle sticks to call on us right now. Okay. Oh, good luck, brother. PlayStation State of Play is likely coming again at the end of the month this month for Wolverine. Apparently, this is coming from Insider Gaming, which said Insomniac Games' Wolverine is likely to be at PlayStation's next State of Play. Their next trailer is completed. Sources say PlayStation is currently planning for the end of September.
I was gonna say nothing, but I feel like this game is right now. It's really got to win me over. I know I'm in the minority on this, but Spider-Man 2, I felt like I played a completely different game than everybody else did, and so I'm kind of maybe not down on Insomniac. Maybe that's a bit too much, but like I'm really super indifferent right now, and I would love to get excited about an Insomniac game again, but. This State of Play, I really need to be wowed because right now I'm just not vibing with it at all.
From the leaks we've seen, I'm worried about it just being a Spider-Man skin and like it just being like a Spider-Man game with Wolverine skin on there. And I hope that's not the case, but obviously that's leaks that are years old at this point, so things could have changed as well.
Right.
Our resident Spidey man. He's not saying anything about it.
I still haven't played Spider-Man 2, so my thoughts are still positive on Insomniac because I played Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales, and I love both of those ones.
And I enjoyed 2 as well. I enjoyed all of those.
And there we go. Yeah. I remember again famously watching all of Spider-Man, watching somebody play it on Twitch. So that's how I gave my thoughts when you guys were playing it. But the biggest problem was, Gage, if I'm remind me, was the story or was it the gameplay? Was it both that you didn't like?
I was disappointed by the story. Only and I don't think the story was necessarily very bad. I just think it was a tough shoes to fill because the Spider-Man 2018 to this day remains, like I said, my favorite Spider-Man story out of any of the movies or anything like that. Like I was really captivated by those characters. Aunt May and the dynamic between her and Peter Parker was absolutely just really got to me. And so the second game, I don't know, I felt like it was a step down, and so that kind of took me out of it. And then also, separate from that, I did have an extremely buggy experience with this game. I was having to reload it all the time. My game files were getting frozen. I had to reload checkpoints. AI didn't work. Actually, I had Dan up.
That's true. Yeah.
And I showed you a clip. I showed you multiple clips of like, and you were like, "Wait, what's going on? This didn't happen to me." I'm like, "I know, the game just didn't work for me. It was broken." So it's probably a lemon. Like I just got really unlucky, but still, that's the experience I had with the game. I just had a very unpleasant experience all around. Not that I don't think it was like an extremely bad game. I was super unlucky with it and did not enjoy playing the second game at all.
Yeah. So I guess it's a combination of things then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like the story specifically struggled from which a lot of Spider-Man stories do, where they try to juggle a lot of things at once and adding Miles, adding all the villains. I think Wolverine hopefully will be a bit more focused like the first two superhero games they made. So hopefully the story is at least good. But I hope that, like what Dan was saying, hopefully they do enough to the gameplay that they make it feel unique and separate from the Spider-Man games, because Wolverine is a completely different character with a completely different type of superpowers. So that would be kind of disappointing if you could like kind of tell that like, oh, they didn't do that much to make this feel different. So I'm excited to see what they have to show off, because I'm not a huge Wolverine fan, but I really enjoyed the Insomniac game. So this could influence me in one way.
Absolutely. All right. Valve has trademarked Steam Frame. What is this, you might ask? It's intended to cover the categories of computer game consoles for recreational game playing, video game consoles, video game accessories, namely controllers for video games, one for computer hardware as well. So it seems like maybe Valve is getting back into the Steam machines game, possibly? Which would make sense with Microsoft's new focus on PC-centric experiences, and presumably the next Xbox being a pseudo-PC for the most part. It makes sense that they would be wanting to dive into that to try to get some of that market share. All right. And then our next story. 2K is now working on a college basketball integration to NBA 2K. Essentially, they're announcing that they're going to work on a college basketball experience that will feature more than 100 programs from across the country, from powerhouses to Cinderella stories. Competition fuels quality at all levels. They essentially said it's going to be some kind of expansion to NBA 2K, and that it's a test bed for, if it does well, they're going to make their own college basketball game. Now, that's important because we announced a few weeks ago that EA was bringing back their NCAA basketball game, and they made a post announcing they were bringing it back. And now there's more information there saying industry sources tell Extra Points that thanks to licensing problems, there's a legitimate chance that EA Sports never actually makes a college basketball video game. And essentially it comes down to EA wanted to make a college basketball game that included all the programs, like all college teams, and 2K's deal with college basketball organizations for their expansion to NBA 2K is not allowing EA to get those licenses, so they can't have them all. So they're essentially like, we can't have them all, so we're not making it. Like, so that's kind of disappointing because I was excited for that, but maybe 2K will actually make a full-fledged experience if this does well. I'm hopeful still. Our next one is extremely long. I'm not going over all of it because it would take entirely too long. But Destiny 2 announced their next campaign called Renegades, and they announced a bunch of new stuff that they're going to have. They announced faster power climb and improved rewards with the new campaign as well. They announced raid and dungeon loot drops begin at tier 3. They also announced a new weekly ritual and portal variety improvement system. So there's a bunch of stuff in that. They announced they're expanding build crafting and the gear chase, where all exotic weapons and armor will be featured gear. Legendary weapon tiers can be enhanced in Shadow and Order. They also announced a pause on non-critical nerfs and balance changes and upcoming super and subclass buffs as well. There's a whole bunch of information on this, so definitely go to Destiny, the game, if you want to see all of that. But a lot of people are excited, or at least from my timeline, a lot of people seem to be excited about the Renegades campaign, which it has the Star Wars integration, in case you're not aware of that.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be a little bit more positive, like you're saying, on this one. But since the new format has been released for Destiny 2, it's like the community is not super happy with what I've seen, at least.
Yeah.
And with Destiny Rising, the mobile game coming out, a lot of people have moved on over to that because they're really impressed with what NetEase made, which is crazy because Bungie didn't make that Destiny game. A different company did, and people are like, this is what we wanted. This game has fishing, it has sparrow racing, and like all these cool things that people have been wanting in the original game are in the mobile game right now. Plus some other stuff. Like, I hope Renegades is like going to be a positive swing, because right now the community seems to be like pretty unhappy with Destiny currently right now, which is sad. I just wanted to do Destiny 3 at this point.
I think that's the crux of it. Like, people are kind of ready for something new, and yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
We got news that Nintendo has announced a Nintendo Direct that is coming Friday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time, for 60 minutes of information on upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 and Switch games. So it will be interesting. What do we think we're gonna see here?
Ooh, honestly, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe Metroid gets their date. It's still supposed to be coming out this year. I'm sure there'll be some remasters, some remakes in there.
True.
I think somebody said this is their longest direct outside of the console reveal, so they've definitely got something to talk about, or maybe just a lot of games. But I'm sure maybe some Pokemon stuff too, Z to A. New Pokemon games, maybe. Yeah,
That would be cool.
So some third-party games that haven't been on the Switch before coming to the Switch 2 that couldn't run on the Switch, maybe. I saw people talking about
Kirby Air Riders hasn't come out yet, right?
No, it does have a release date though.
Okay.
Now I think so they did announce that, but maybe they show off more characters.
Okay.
Yeah, it's possible.
The next 3D Mario game? Just kidding.
I hope so. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but that would be awesome.
Yep. I wonder if you think a different team is working on a 3D Mario game? Like, and the DK team is not going to make the next 3D Mario after DK Bonanza?
I don't know. I think they do want that team to work on the next one, but you're right. It's been a while since we've got a 3D Mario game, so maybe somebody's working on something smaller.
It did.
It
did strike me because they made a comment. I can't remember when that was. They made a comment about like how they make like gameplay ideas and then find what world essentially fits in that, like what universe, like DK or Mario or whatever. Because like I think they talked about that for DK. They were like they came up with that mechanic and then they're like, what fits into this? And then they're like DK. So I'm wondering if like I don't know, maybe like they just think up another Nintendo studio thinks up a cool mechanic, and then they're like, okay, go make a Mario game.
Yeah. That's a cool way of doing it.
Yeah,
Kind of like that.
kind of interesting.
But in the same way, like Sakurai was working on Kirby Air Rides for a really long time, apparently, and that was like during Smash Bros. Time. So it's possible that they have started already, and they just need to continue. And I doubt they would reveal it if they are working on it, but maybe it's farther along than we think.
That's true. Patnat says, if Metroid Prime doesn't get a release date, I might just enlist in the army. Well, that might work out for you. You might get deployed to your local city.
That's true. You might not even leave the country.
Yeah. Fuck. Shit. All right. Our last story here, before we leave our stories. Gears of War has continued its Never Fight Alone campaign. I liked this and threw this in here. They put a post up. They do this every year, but they put a post up. Our purpose has always been to create stories about belonging and brotherhood. The rapidly rising rates of suicide, depression, loneliness concern us deeply, and we believe in the opportunity to come together to reduce and prevent further suffering. This is why the Coalition continues to donate 1% of all net revenue from Gears of War games and merchandise to Crisis Text Line, who are working to prevent suicide and combat loneliness. If you would like to show your support, a new limited edition shirt and hoodie designed by Rada Rodriguez are now available to purchase at the link, which I have the link in the description as well if you're interested on YouTube. The 2025 Never Fight Alone merch will be available for a limited time only. Get them before they're gone on September 24th. This is not me promoting, like, I'm not promoting, like, go buy a t-shirt. It's just, like, I really like the cause that they're doing here, and all the proceeds are going to the Crisis Text Line. So I like shouting this out because it's a good cause.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that is all of our stories, which means we're going straight into fantasy draft check-in. It has been a long while. We have a lot to cover. Let's go back here to league history and figure out what the heck is going on here. So all the way back, I think, yeah, we did that one. I got Battlefield 6. I did that one. Okay. So back to August 30th, we had a drop and a bid. My drop, this was my team, was Replaced because Replaced got delayed yet again to next year. Fucking A. So I dropped Replaced and picked up Keeper for $3, which is the next Double Fine game. Don't sleep on it. So I'm excited for that. And then September 6th, so just this last week, Roe is on the board with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake, which he bid for $5.
Mm-hmm. Number 3 did pretty good. The remake for that did good.
That's true.
So hopefully
it continues the trend.
It continues the trend. I made some other bids, but obviously they didn't go through yet.
Oh, so this coming week you're gonna have more. That's a tease because you may have just screwed yourself because maybe Gage is gonna pick it up now. Because I'm out of
right now.
Because I'm out of spots. I can't pick anything up until something gets delayed. I have one more game, or wait, one more or two more? No, one more. I have one more game that I can drop, but the game has to be delayed for me to drop it. So I know there's going to be another game delayed on my list, but it hasn't been delayed yet, so I can't fucking drop it. I'm like, fucking A. But yeah. We do have some updates as well, and you guys may need to help me because I know Hollow Knight, but you may need to help me because I don't remember what all just came out. So if you notice something that I'm missing, please let me know. Hollow Knight Silk Song released, and Gage was finally happy to get 26 points from Hollow Knight Silksong because it is a 93 on Open Critic.
It actually came out.
God did. I believe this was the first game I chose on the very first draft on the very first day of this league this year. And boy, oh boy, am
And
I ready
last
to
year.
collect. Last year, yes.
And last
And here I am collecting my hard-earned 26 points.
Or did Christian draft it last year? I don't remember.
I'm talking about this year. Yeah.
No, I know. I was thinking you did both years, but then I'm like, maybe Christian did last year. I can't remember.
I can't remember. I don't know. But I knew it. I knew it was coming out this year.
Incredible.
Give me the points that I'm owed. And where did that put me, Dan? What position am I in right now?
We'll get to that. We got to go over everything first.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, was that out last time we were? I can't remember if that.
No, I think that's released in between.
Okay, so Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater got an 86 on Open Critic, which also gave Gage 16 points. Another huge get there for him. Trying to think what else you started. Mafia: The Old Country, you did counterpick, which gave you -4 points for that one. And then we go into Row, which Row drafted Mafia, which gave him 4 points.
Yay.
And then I think, is that all, Row, or did one of the Everhood 2? I don't know when that came out.
No, that came out a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I got any other releases.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Dan, did I have anything released? Let me see real quick. No, I did not have any new releases. And Christian had Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Did we talk about that? I don't remember. Time's a flat.
I think
We did talk about that.
Time's a flat circle is what you're about to say.
Time's a flat line. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2, 20 points for Christian, just in case I forgot at some point. Let's see, what else? Ninja Gaiden Ragebound? That might have July 31st. No, that was already out. I don't know what I'm doing. Donkey Kong, that was out. Yeah, I think that was it. All right, so the positioning here is in first place is still Christian with 165 points. And Christian has had 10 games released now, which that's a lot more games released. Christian's starting to get up there. And then in second place, I'm happy to report that I am still in second place with 113 points. And I have had 8 games released. And a close third, Gage, with 112 points, also had 8 games released. And then last place right now is Row, sitting with 42 points and just 4 games released, though. You still have a lot of games left.
That's true. God.
The comeback starts now.
Not even halfway to 100.
Yeah, that's rough.
I thought for a second there that Gage drafted your team. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, you insulted both of us. Jeez.
Sorry. Just kidding. All right. Oh shoot, I forgot. I just closed it. I always end with look ahead because we do have stuff coming out very soon. And one of those comes out actually on Friday. Review embargo is tomorrow. I know that because I've looked. And that is Borderlands 4 coming out Friday. Very excited. Hopefully it gets good reviews. We're going to play it this weekend. It's going to be fun.
Sir.
And then we've got on September 19th, which is next Friday, we have Row getting Trails in the Sky first chapter release.
Pretty confident in that one. Confident in that one.
Huge. And then we have Gage with Dying Light the Beast that comes out this same day. And then we round out September with Silent Hill F coming September 25th for Rose team. And that rounds out our September. All right. Moving into what you got for me, Dan. What you got for me? Believe it or not, 3-week span. I should have a bunch of stuff, but I was in Canada for a week, to be fair, and I didn't really play anything new. I was just, although, no, that's not entirely true.
That was new.
I did play Destiny Rising with Gage for about,
Oh, you guys played?
well, yeah, for about 10 minutes in the hotel room. And I was like, this game's not doing it for me. I was not vibing with it. I know a lot of people have been praising a lot of things it's doing, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is not fun to me. It has the look of a Destiny game, but it's just not fun for me.
It's like gotcha mechanics as well.
Yeah.
I think I haven't played it obviously, but I also think it's like partly Stockholm syndrome. Like the game is just so bad right now that this is just so much closer to the original experience that we're having such a good time.
Yeah.
This is what we have wanted. It's just been so long since the game has been like this. So the Destiny community is just like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
It's insane to see an entire community, the Destiny community, like all trauma bonding with this Destiny Rising right now, where it's like the abuse you guys got on the mainline franchise was so bad that now you're all playing this and being like, this is amazing.
Awesome.
Dan, you're not giving us enough credit. We did not play it for 10 minutes. We played it for probably like an hour.
Okay, maybe.
Because you got to think, we did the entire tutorial solo, and then we played like maybe 30 minutes together, and we did like a boss fight. So we gave it an honest shot.
We did, yeah.
And we can say that it's slop, definitely. It's almost like a zombie. Like it walks like Destiny, it looks like Destiny, but there's nothing in there. It's not real.
Because like I play Destiny and I love the gameplay loop of Destiny. I've always loved the gameplay loop. The biggest thing is it's just like it's a massive time sink. That's always been my issue, and but like the gameplay's fun. But anyways, but yeah, I think that's pretty much the only new thing that I have for the most part. We did play Jackbox with a friend of the show, Sheldon, and his girlfriend Mason, as well as Gage and Lynn, his girlfriend. So that was a lot of fun in Canada, getting to do that on the couch with the friends. So that's all I had. But then let me just read these comments real quick. Kirik said, there's no physical, and if you get physical from Nintendo, it's a damn game key card. Not getting my money. Okay, true. That's fair. Glenn says in all caps, Daniel, I don't know that excited about Borderlands. He may already have plans to play Halo instead. You know what, Glenn?
True. That's true. You abandoned me. You abandoned me on the premiere launch night of Borderlands 4.
To be fair, I planned that 3 or 4 weeks ago with the Halo community to play on Friday, and it is only for a specific time period. I think 9 to 11:30. So I'm available from the time I get off work till 9 o'clock, and then I'm available 11:30 until I go to bed.
Well, I guess I just hope that my heart can heal in that short amount of time span, because otherwise it's going to be a very sad game night.
Kirik also said, you should have tried the Canadian version of Halo. You kill each other with maple syrup. The hell? Glenn said, didn't you play Mario Kart World 2? It was definitely way longer than 10 minutes. If both of you played that too, that's what I was saying. Yeah, let's just clarify this, because Glenn to clarify the whole thing, Glenn, friend of the show, it was his wedding that we were in Canada for, or that I was there for. Everyone else is already from Canada, of course. We were in the hotel room for his wedding, and this man comes in and fucking plays about 3-4 hours of Mario Kart World on my Switch and pretty much beats it. Like he beats the whole thing in that sitting. So no, Glenn, I didn't play any Mario Kart. You played it all and beat it.
I want to give a quick shout out to Glenn, who of course is now a married man and was the reason that you came up to Canada again
Yes.
so soon. So congratulations to Glenn and Emma,
Yes,
who are
congratulations.
now happily wed. But so that's one part of the shout out. The other part of the shout out is to Glenn specifically, who the night before his wedding decided he wanted to be in a hotel room with me and you on the couch,
Yeah.
with all three of us just
know where
playing
you're going.
games on our iPads, and he's playing games on the Switch. What a nice little wholesome moment. And
Wait, finish
shout
that.
out to Glenn.
Finish that.
And what? I don't know. What else happened?
He decided to do that over someone texting him and asking if he wanted to go out to the bars to enjoy his last night of being single. And this man said, "No, I'm playing Mario Kart World."
Beautiful.
And didn't even tell us about it, because I would have pressured him to be like, let's all go out, because it was his family that was down there and everybody's at the bar drinking. I would have totally pressured him to go out, but yeah, he made that call for himself. No, I don't want to. Didn't tell us about it. Just came and hung out all night in the hotel room.
Legend.
What a great little memory.
Yep. Absolute legend. All right,
Legend.
Ro, tell us about all the games you've been playing.
Oh. So, I have been playing Sonic X Shadow Generations that was gifted to me by Daniel Prindle for Christmas last year or this year? Yeah, last year, I guess, 2024. As you know, I've been on a sort of a video game hiatus, but back. I've been playing it, having a great time. I think I'm almost done the shadow part of it, and it's really good. Like, it's really fun. I had a blast with it, so thank you, Dan. So I've been playing that, doing all the challenges, beating all the bosses. Also, I did something a little crazy, but I treated myself yesterday. And please don't ask me the specifics and all that kind of stuff, but I got myself a pre-built gaming PC that should be coming soon.
Wow.
So I should be playing some games soon. My laptop is like on its last legs, and I've needed a PC for a while, so I was like, may as well get one that'll do all my editing. I could play games on pretty comfortably. So I got one. It's like, again, it's nothing crazy. It's just something that'll be enough for me. But I'm excited to play games that are recent and without it breaking. So yeah, that should be coming soon.
Huge.
Hopefully play Arc Raiders with you guys.
Hell yes.
Wow. Well, not even that, but even just like all of the small little indie games that we sometimes jump on for a few weekends, right? We can absolutely get you in on that now. That's awesome.
I'm very excited. Very excited.
I don't know like you said, the specs of your new PC remain a mystery, but I do remember you saying that your laptop had a GT 1050, I think. So I mean, you could be buying a $300 tower, and it's probably an upgrade over what you have.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
You're going to be light years ahead of where you were before.
That's good, because it's not horrible like you said, but the fact that you're telling me that it is horrible, and it played some games pretty well. Like Destiny ran totally fine with it. Just games that were really well optimized, I guess. Right. And obviously the indies were fine, but like Street Fighter, I tried to play on it. The new Street Fighter could not do that. The Sonic Crossworlds demo, like the racing game that came out recently, barely ran that, and apparently people were saying that's really well optimized. Not for my laptop, apparently. So, yeah. So hopefully it should be an upgrade.
Do you know this answer? Do you have an SSD?
Let's see. An SSD.
Yeah.
It says
Or
Gen 4 SSD?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. That's great.
Perfect. That's what you want.
Okay, good. Phew. I did do research on it, but like I didn't know like so I was like, oh, this guy seems like he knows what he's talking about. It's pretty affordable. So I was like, it's good enough for me.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. All right.
But yeah, that's it. I've played one game, and I'm anticipating playing more.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We anticipate hearing about more.
Thank you.
Gage, what you got?
I've got a lot of one game, pretty much. And that is, I think I started playing this before we had our long break, but I think I just forgot to say or whatever happened the last time we did What You Got For Me, but I've been playing Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
Ooh.
I am almost 50 hours into this game. And it is so good. And now what's funny, Dan, is I think you said somebody said something, I don't know, this doesn't seem like your kind of game, but absolutely it is my kind of game, because what it is, Dan, like you always say, Gage loves playing these games where it's just you're just doing a job. Why does Gage like Burger Simulator 2025, and why does Gage like Played Up so much? All these games where you're just working for a living. Well, Death Stranding 2 is just the AAA version of that genre of game.
Mhm.
It is a fully fledged experience where you're just delivering packages, and oh my, I'm having so much fun delivering packages. I have a hot take about Kojima that I don't know if I'm willing to say on the internet, because it'll be there forever.
Say it.
But you want me to say it? Huh?
Say it.
Say it.
Say
Listen,
it.
Kojima, I am understanding, is an S-tier game designer, and he is a D-tier writer. This story, these characters. I hope Christian's listening right now, because you know what? Christian was one of those people talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. This game holds your hand too much. I feel like there's not enough. The amount of times you sit down in Death Stranding 2 and somebody tells you, you spend 5 minutes to somebody saying, this is where your next destination is, Sam. You're going to want to bring this, and this. And that person fades away. And then the little doll on your hip's like, Sam, I don't know if you just heard him, but what he said was, and then he spends 3 minutes telling you what you should do again. And then you leave the menu to go on your hike to go where you're going. And then there's all these things that you need conveniently placed along your route. And I'm like, this game has no, I don't know. It's a little bit like exposition simulator when it comes to the story, and I'm not a fan of that at all. But the gameplay, just like the first one, although I've played probably like 45 more hours in the second one, the gameplay is where it shines for me, and the systems that all intermingle and the whole shared social space thing is so well integrated. But holy crap, some of the writing in this game is... I feel like Kojima gets away with it just because he's Kojima. If I was like, hey guys, I'm working on this story, it means a lot to me. It's about a construction worker. His name's Brickman, and his girlfriend is a lawyer, and her name is Legalese. You guys would be like, all right, what are you doing here? You gotta sharpen some of these edges. But for some reason, Kojima just gets this crazy pass. So S-tier game design, D-tier writing. That's the Kojima hot take.
I will tell you, while I was in Canada, I saw probably like, I don't know, maybe 5-ish hours of this game of Gage playing it. And
no shot. It felt like 5 hours. There's no shot you actually watched 5 hours.
Okay, maybe it felt like 5 hours. It's that much time of my life that I'll never get back again. I was like, what am I watching right now? I don't even know what's happening. I don't.
It's so good, dude. Holding right trigger to shift your weight to the right to stop yourself from fumbling is just... It's such good gameplay. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
And
I'm not even halfway through the story yet, according to Christian. I put 50 hours into this game. I'm taking my time. I'm building roads. I'm putting it out there for the people. Contributing materials. It feels great, man.
I did love Metal Gear Solid 5's gameplay. That was very satisfying. So
yeah, I mean, you could theoretically skip all that, what I'm doing, and just play the game like it does feel. I've only played a very small amount of Metal Gear Solid 5, but it does feel a lot more action oriented this time around. Like the game gives you tons of guns that don't hurt anybody, and don't worry, it doesn't kill anyone. It's fine, and it just gives you machine guns to take down bases if you want. But I'm definitely not playing it that way. I'm playing it on a much more slow pace, kind of serene, taking in the environment sort of way, but I'm enjoying it. It's great. And we've also been playing Rematch as well, which is still broken.
But we
still a lot of
play
fun.
Yeah.
We still play it though. The core gameplay loop is so good on that game, but we can't stop playing it. But the game is still very much broken.
What do we
And
what did we talk about? We talked about if Battlefield 6 was broken at launch, and you're like, I don't know if I'll don't pre-order it because if it's broken, I may not play it. I'm like, we play lots of broken games.
that's true. That's true. We put a lot of time into rematch, and that game is still not fixed.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Keurig does say in the chat row, nice, congrats. He's congratulating you on your PC.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. All right. It has been a great week back after a couple weeks off. But thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Gage. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Adios.